Record. Okay, we're good. Welcome to day 3. So go for it. Say that again.
Okay, no, I was just going to say, you really inspired me. I have gotten a lot. I have seen a lot and feel a lot more than I did when I before I came to the challenge. There's the confidence there. I know what the roadblocks are. I know how I'm going to remove them, and I'm feeling very confident.
Wow, that's great.
I think so
Awesome.
too.
I gotta say, like, like the courage to step in your power is not it. It's not a small thing, guys, right? Yeah. Anyone else?
Hi,
Okay.
everybody.
So,
Good
oh,
evening,
I'll let
everyone.
her go.
I know it's hard to know who's gonna, I don't see everybody. Um, what I want to share is doing the roadblocks was not anything new in terms of like, I know that's in the background, but bringing them actually to the forefront and actually confronting them was what's, I guess, a big thing for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Question for you. So, Angie, did you find when you did that they kind of lost some of their power over you?
You know what? It's the very first time that I even looked at them. So it it's I'm actually in the process of like just actually acknowledging them. I think I'm pretty in the infancy of that. But but they pretty much come from the same thing, which is fear, like, oh,
Mhm.
what are they going to think? Or the imposter syndrome, or, even things that you can control that much, like anxiety, that's something that is there. So, okay, acknowledging that those are the things. So great. Now, what they were in the background, but never, kind of making noise around my head, but never really listening to that.
Right.
That was
Okay.
pretty big, I think, just to stop and acknowledge that the roadblocks that I can actually deal with and do something about. So that was
Yeah.
huge, understanding that, yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to keep them there floating around anymore. Like you can actually do something about it. So to your point, Catherine, just making you feel more confident and more powerful and stepping into your power.
Yeah, like that's amazing. Like I don't even think you realize how amazing that is. That's awesome. And this has been in like literally 2 days, you guys. Who else was going to come out? I'm just going to move the screen forward to the next one because we're going to. But yeah, I want to hear. Bring it
I
up.
think I okay, so I'm going to come out, Elaine.
Hi,
I'll
Elaine.
come out of the closet. um, so, okay, so nobody knows this. I'm taking this leadership because I need to reinstate or I can't explain it. Okay, so just a quick synopsis of I've had a brain injury. I have a very hard time of remembering things. So I've had to, like, I need to take more of these so that I can remember more stuff. It doesn't matter if it's, audio or visual or whatever, I still forget. So that's why I've been in the background.
Mhm.
Do I get any, have I gotten anything? Not really, but I've been at least following along and listening to what everyone's been saying. So I have cognitive issues and also memory as well. So that's one of the reasons why I took this, so that, and if I could even take more of these, I don't know, and maybe something will click somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, with everyone.
You're very brave to do that. It's Catherine, and I just wanted to say I think you're really brave to do that. So thanks for sharing.
No, thank you. I was afraid at the beginning to step out. That's the hard part of doing certain things. Sometimes I'm okay with it and I can just jump right into it, and other times I step back, and that's because I don't have the confidence to do so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge. It's so funny. Well, that's not funny, but that you brought up that you have a brain injury. I had 3 people in my last course who did this with me, like the entire course, who had brain injuries. And similar to what you got, cognitive issues. And it was so funny because they probably got the most out of it because they wanted, like you said, to retain as much as possible and the repetition, right? And so they would just, and the good thing was that, because what I'm going to show you at the end is the program, but they had this membership site where they could go and watch it again and again and again. So they needed to watch it again more than other people who didn't have a brain injury. And I'm not
Yeah,
sure that yours
exactly.
is right. So it was just like a total bonus for them. So yeah, I'm happy to be space for you, whatever you need for that. Like, absolutely. You know, you are an amazing person and an amazing human being, and how much have you contributed to us in just those few sentences you gave to us today. Right. So lurk in the
Thank you.
shadows if you like, but step into the
Yep.
light if you really want to shine. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone
I
else?
Yes, Elaine, I think everybody would love to connect, whatever we can do to help.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it's
thanks.
amazing. And look at you coming forward and being so confident. I think that that's maybe, if you're saying maybe I didn't get much out of it, but just trying to help you with the cognitive, but look at you, you came forward when you weren't feeling that 2 days ago. That's amazing. Yay.
Yay.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. That wasn't why obviously, that's not me. I don't like to be on the
In front of the
forefront
room.
of everything. Yeah, that's just not, well, it used to be, but now it isn't, because I don't have the self-confidence to show that.
Right. So yeah, you know what you actually do. You're just I haven't tapped into it lately. So I think you got it personally. You're just hiding it. But let's see how we can bring out more of that for you to step into it. I think that would be beautiful.
I would
Okay.
like to put out there, I don't know your last name, Elaine, but I'd like to friend you. And I can't friend
Okay.
you because I don't think I know your last name.
Oh, it's can I tell my name? Of course I
Yeah,
can.
sure you can.
It's Hare, Hare.
Hare? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna look to friend you.
Awesome. Yeah,
Okay,
you guys
Janet.
keep in touch. And
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want, ask Christine for the list of people who registered for tonight. Like for this
Okay.
3-day, I'm sure if you guys were all amenable, she'd send it out to you guys. I don't
I
I
wrote
don't know
down-
if she has rules, but sorry, go
I
ahead.
did write down everybody else's name, but I only saw Elaine Galaxy, so I wasn't
Right.
sure.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so what I wanted to do tonight is I want you to take a look at where you are now. Now, we all know where we are now in our business and our leadership. And what I want you to look at is, you know where this is for you. Well, you have an idea of it, right? It's not, so detailed, but it's way more than it used to be. And so compared to where you are now, can you see that there is a path to success for you, and that it may seem like yeah, right, it may seem like a huge long road, but you know what, it's more clear than what it was before. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And another thing I want you to look at today is, I want you to look at, is your mission the same as you had it the first day? So some of you may not have a mission now, and that's okay, no big deal, right? But what you want to look at is your mission right now. Do you think that's going to be the same mission as you talked about, when we were working on it that first day, right? I know that my mission has shifted as I'm shifting. So it's changed for me a couple of times. Yeah, Lucy says hers is bigger. So what you're doing now, I want you to make sure that you keep what you have now, but because you've thought about what it is up here, but make sure that it has room to expand. Because if you have the kind of mission that's like, if I get there, I have nowhere else to go, then you're not going to move, right? You're going to hit the glass ceiling, right? So just think about it if you have a mission now. And if you don't, create one for now, because you know what it's going to be up here. You already talked about that. I heard you all say it, right? So just, be thinking about your mission when you're doing it, because, your passion and your mission, they're so interacted together. Like they're two peas in a pod, right? They're all working together. Yeah. Catherine says hers is more clear. That's cool. Awesome. Okay. And then, now I like this one because everyone's like, oh my God, it's insurmountable. So how much of a gap is there in your income and revenue from where you are now to where you're up here? And some of you have talked about this the last couple of days. So, you don't need to give me numbers, but I want to get like what your thought is about that and how it makes you feel. So come on out, don't be shy.
I'm feeling better than I was. There certainly is a gap, but because I'm feeling more clear, and also I've already started to remove some of the roadblocks, I believe that that gap will lessen and lessen over the next months. Does
Very
that make
cool.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually quite excited about it.
Yeah, because you have a plan now, right?
I have a plan now, and yeah, and you know the whole thing about giving and receiving and the money flow and all of that, I believe that, and yeah, that part's starting to happen. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And you know, the other thing about that too is don't forget, work your income back plan back, you know, from the 1 year, 5 year, whatever it is that you want to work on. So make sure that you got those numbers down and you're looking at those numbers. And if those numbers aren't enough, what can I do to make more money? Right? I gave you 4 examples. I think it was on the first day. So start looking at that. You know, start looking at complementary things that you can offer with what you do. Can you offer a workshop? Do you have a program that you could create? You know, in addition to the product, service, or offering, or combination thereof, you know, that you offer. So there are lots and lots of opportunities for that.
I really like what you had said about the collaboration piece, because
Yeah.
I can really, really see, especially what I do, you know, somebody who's into jewelry, wellness, self-care, whole lot of clothing where I could collaborate with.
My God, girl, you could collaborate with ladies who do photo shoots.
Yes.
Right? You do all, yeah, like you, the sky is the limit for what you do. And I can see when I look at you, when you talk about your business, how much you love it. You can almost not stand it. You love it so much, right? So it's really
But
interesting. Yeah. Sorry, go
but I'm
ahead.
humble. Like I'm a really humble person. And when you talk about roadblocks, even to let my, I don't know, some, I think it was you, Angie, who you talked about, I'm an imposter. Like I came across that word not too long ago, and I swear to God, I look in and I say, this ain't me. I can't, like self-talk, right? Self defeated attitude. This ain't me. And people are gonna think I'm a fake, I'm a phony. I can't really do this. And it's like, just between today and yesterday, I recorded a couple of videos, and I said, screw it. I just posted it on Instagram in one of those reels.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
because
What is your page, your or Instagram handle or whatever it's called?
actually I have to change it because it's not Janet McLean. It's I gotta change it to, so it's my name, but it's actually Royal Lash Beauty.
Yeah. Put it in the chat there, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Put it in the chat for everyone. That's great.
All right.
And your
Same thing
contact
as you
info, you
guys
guys can
here.
all copy the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. And you know what? Like the imposter thing, you got to think about that. When did that start? So be thinking about, did that start as a child? And, you know,
Christine
if you,
Hall.
yes, right. And, you know, the other thing about that too is whatever age that started at, who gave that to you and, you know, who made you feel that way? And maybe it's not yours. It's just something somebody put on you, right? Like, there's so many options we have that we don't have to shift into our crap, right? So it's just I think what you're doing is amazing. Just keep doing it. And you know what you're gonna find, Janet, that stuff just, you know, kind of sloughs off and you're like, yeah, I don't really care. I'm just going for it. You know, so yeah, keep doing those videos. I mean, keep doing everything, right? You rock. That's amazing. You know, I just get a really good feeling about your business and how much you love it. So that's great. Okay, so we're going to move forward. Now, we kind of talked about this, you guys. So what changes do you need to implement right now and in the future to support where your business and your leadership is going? I had a really good call just before this with, that's great. You guys put all your stuff in the chat. That's awesome. With my my mentor and one of my 90-day, one of my coaches. And so we do a 90-day plan. And so when your company, my company is at the point where I need to move more internationally, and I need to be working with a team of people because I don't have the IT background. I don't do the website stuff. I don't have all the stuff that does all the analytics. Honestly, I don't care about it, but I know I need it, right? So I need to work with a team that does that. And tonight we outlined all of that, and it was funny because I could feel myself reacting to it and going like, oh my God, like what am I getting myself into here? And I'm like, no, Laura, stop it. You've been wanting this. You've been wanting this success and wanting someone, the right person to come along to make all this happen for you. And they're doing it for you. So you just sit there and you take it because that's what you need to move forward in your business. And so I had this talk with myself, right? And then I guess the look on my face was like, holy crap, right? So he's like, it's going to be okay. Like he started reassuring me, right? It's going to be okay. You just need to do these things, Laura, for me. That's what I need from you. And I will work on the other stuff and I will let you know what's going on. So, when you get to a point where you're going to be starting to work with a team, I'm not, like I said before, the expert in a lot of those fields. I told him, I said, I just want to go out and I want to teach and I want to make a lot of money and I want to help a lot of people step into their power. And he laughed and he said, if that was anybody else telling me this but you, I wouldn't believe them. And he said, but I get where you're absolutely coming from. So, your equation, hey, get really clear on that. We talked about that. So, have you guys even thought about what you need to implement now and in the future, like even in the near future, to make these changes? Because right away after these 3 days, your business is going to change. Like you're already shifting, right? So I'd love to have you guys come out and just give me like one or two things that you think right away you're going to have to do.
Revamp my business plan. I have some more clear goals, and I've identified the roadblocks, and that will help me with the business plan.
Very cool. Awesome. Anyone else?
I know what my roadblocks are. But for me, I need a step-by-step plan to break them down. So when you said plan out 5 years, I'm probably going to do 1 year from now. I like the short term. It's more feasible for me. Mm-hmm. And then exactly step how I'm going to achieve that and put a money value on it.
Perfect. And then, with the 12-month, you break it down into predictable steps. Then that way you're also minimizing your risk. Right? So you're like, yes, I'm doing this and this is going to happen and this. And, also I know it's a lot of the time have an off the rails plan. So, if things happen, that you can't control, you got to have some sort of, leeway there, some sort of cushion, right? So be thinking about that as well. So that's amazing. It's like you're creating a blueprint for your business and you can use this blueprint over and over and over again. Okay. So we kind of talked about this. I love this picture because I'm like, there's no way that girl's going to be able to pull that boulder up the hill. It's never happening. Right. So, what did you notice that was holding you back the most? And you don't have to reveal the things that are really close to your heart, but just like one thing that you're like, what was I thinking? Why am I using this? Right. It's not serving me. Something that was obvious to you. Just come on out. We won't spend a lot of time here, but I think it's a great conversation.
For me, right across the board, and even in a couple of categories, when we're talking about where does it come from, why are you choosing it, fear. That came in both of those things and all the way across each of my roadblocks. And I also realized that these are just some of the roadblocks. I think there's still more, but I think that the common denominator is that fear aspect, for sure.
Yeah, fear can be a powerful thing until we realize that a lot of the time it's not ours, and though it may feel real to us, and I certainly don't want to downplay it, but it can be channeled into another emotion really easily. Excuse me. So in one way, it's one of the most powerful, Angie, but in one way, it's also the easiest to get rid of. Because when you start to get explanations and understanding about your fear and where it's coming from and whose it is, all of a sudden it tends to lose the charge that it's got on you really quickly, as opposed to something like self-esteem or other things that may be holding you back, right? And I have had a lot of horrible things happen to me in my life. I have dealt with mental, physical, sexual abuse. Like, I've gone through the gamut. And as a woman, I just decided that that wasn't going to stop me, and I was going to help people who were not just in the same boat as me, but those who had any affliction that was holding them back have the ability to step under their power. And there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that you guys can't do. Okay. And I'm telling you that from speaking from someone who's gone through some really horrible things, right? My life has been one moment of excitement to the next, and I wouldn't trade any of it for anything, the bad and the good, because it's created who I am, and I'm able to take that into what I do and serve others in that capacity. Okay. And so don't see it as a downfall that you got, see it as part of who you are that can contribute to others. Right. So it's just a different point of view about you and how you think about that stuff. Right.
And
So
another light bulb moment to do with that is the fact that you say, okay, do I even own this? And a couple of things for me were like, yeah, that's not mine. I was told it, but I don't have to carry that as my narrative anymore, because I didn't create it. It was just told that this is why you have to fear, or this is why you feel this way, or those are your roadblocks. So that was pretty cool to think, actually, no, that's not mine, because I don't really believe that, but I believed it because I was told that was my story. Someone else was telling me what my story was. So that was huge for me to recognize, oh, no, I don't believe that. So I can give it back. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, that's so powerful, right? Like, and the more you do it, the more you'll realize, like, things start to trigger you like they normally do. Like, wait a minute, that's not mine. Or is it? I check it. No, it's not. So I just give, yeah, I think, that you're already employing that and like clearing your stuff of that shit that's not yours. Sorry, I spoke French there. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you're already on the path. You guys are already doing it, right? And it loses the charge, like I said, that it used to have, and the hold that it used to have over you, which is cool. So, okay. So we kind of talked about this. So is it surprising for you? Was it surprising that you noticed the changes, and what came up? Like, was it expected? Or, was it something that you didn't expect? Because I remember going through this exercise, like when I was younger, and stuff came up and I'm like, where did that come from? And it was not mine, but I had been carrying it, just like you said, Angie, for so long. And I'm like, no, I'm just giving that back, right? So some of it was surprising to me. And I think that as human beings, we are really good at protecting ourselves from things that are going to damage us, that we can't consciously deal with, until we're ready to, right? And so now is the time to look at what's holding you back, and take a hold of that, and know that there's nothing that can stop you, right? um, yeah, that's cool. Lindsay, great point. Remembering your baggage is hugely important because it fuels her desire to help others. And I felt like I remembered my gold medal younger self in my favorite job, which I gave up because of my desire to be home with my kids. I have so much more to bring a present version of that favorite job. Awesome. And it's funny because I teach this, I speak, right? So this lady called me up, and one of the talks that I do is 4 steps to living an inspired life. And she's like, our group is like older women who are anywhere from like 50 to 70. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm 54. I don't feel older. Anyways, besides that point, and she's like, yeah, they're lonely. They want to, they're not, they're having a hard time, especially in COVID, right? So we bring in these speakers who, give them, things to do, network, and, inspiration. And I said, well, what is really important, I'm not really teaching this, but I think it's good to do. I think, where did you lose your inspiration? And Lindsay, where that is, you just told me. Like, where did you lose that awesome person you were when you were in your 20s and you were on top of the world? And we all go through stuff, so we have learning and bring it with us. But we can all get back to being on top of the world and feeling like who that gold medal person is. And in fact, you're going to be better than you were before, because you know what you don't want, right? And it's actually going to be an easier path, with less mistakes, because you've already made a lot of them, as usual. So cool. So the last thing that I want to bring out, is this the last slide? I always forget. Yeah. So what are your biggest, we kind of talked about this, so I don't want to keep going over it, but what are your biggest breakthroughs, and what are your biggest takeaways, okay, that you're going to take away from these 3 days together? So come on out, either or, breakthrough or takeaway. Don't be shy.
I have my all my scribbles to take away. That's my biggest takeaway. All the
Awesome.
wonderful phrases that you wrote, all the little angels I've written with signs on them, with the phrases on them, my huge handwriting, which is my confidence. And I just have to share that my posture, my walking posture, because I'm telling myself in my head most of the day, I am my gold medal self. I walk the way I walked when I was in that job, which was I kind of glided through that job. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that, because it's a place I want to go back, and I've pulled out a picture of myself in that job. In fact, that's what stimulated it. It came into my awareness this week. That job, a picture of it came into my awareness, and it was in a favorite dress that I had, and it was just like life was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I found out I was pregnant with my third child, and it was like, oh, not so perfect.
Yeah, but would you trade your kids for anything, right?
No,
so
I would, and I've got so much more to take to that same job in a self-employed capacity now. So
perfect.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're most welcome. It's my pleasure. This is the reason I do this, because you guys bring me so much joy, and like to see people shift. I don't think there's any better reward. When we're all consciously moving to a better version of ourselves, that's what we're really looking for, right?
Yeah, it's been an amazing 3 days. I have gotten a lot from it. I've taken away a lot. I think the biggest thing for me is, you can tell your saboteurs to shut up, and they'll go away. They will go away. Whether it's that imposter syndrome, or they're, Catherine, I don't know why you think you can have your own business. It's not like you shut up, and they go away.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I find that also for myself is giving myself, the timeline limits, because, so I have big goals, and then sometimes it's like really far away. And now it's like, no, I'm doing a 3-month goal. And that way I can reach it faster.
Right. So you've got your timeline, you've got your structure, you've got your process, and your system in place, right, Lucy? So everything is clearer for you, and it's more doable than it would be something up here that I'm not really quite sure. I know I'm going to achieve one day, but I don't really know, maybe. Right.
Yeah, I need to focus, right? So that's a good one.
Yeah, perfect. That's amazing. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Yeah. And you inspire me so much. Gosh, I just really feel like in 3 days, look at the change we've all had to some degree, some greater, some less, and Elaine just like, just wasn't sure what she wanted out of it, but she showed up and she had greatness, right? And so like you can have whatever you want, though, the sky is your limit, right? And I really want that for you. And why I created this 3-day challenge is because I wanted people to have, especially because last year was so hard on us. Like, and I think I talked about this, so hard on us on every level, like emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. It was just everything, right? And, last year doesn't have to define who you are, are going to be this year, right? Or for the rest of your life. I mean, you can take the things that you learned and the opportunities and whatever it was that you wanted, but this is the year where you're going to make the changes in your life and create the system, and that's going to skyrocket you to the top, and do it step by step, so it all works out. and create an opportunity for yourself that's exciting, right? Where you're going to be able to learn and grow and nurture, right? And create community around, right? Like all of those things are like incredible. And I don't think you guys realize how incredible you are, because I don't think, A, we tell ourselves enough, and I don't think others tell ourselves that enough either. And it's funny because I don't know if you guys know about the 5 love languages. If you don't know about it, do the test. And it was really interesting because when my husband did this test, I thought for sure he was the guy who liked gifts. I'm the person who actually likes the gifts. But you know what he loved? He loved getting compliments. And I'm like, what? Right? So now when I talk to him, like when we communicate differently, he's a blueprint, I'm an action, right? Like I really make sure that I give him compliments, and I can see how much it touches his heart, right? So once we start to get to know the people that not only are in our business and leadership, but in our life better, you know, all of those things that they love are the efforts that you're going to make to create a richer, deeper relationship with them. And it's going to skyrocket your business. It can't not. That's really bad grammar, but you know, you don't really have a choice. It's just going to happen. So does anyone else have any comments? I'm just going to now like go into talking a little bit about why I did this and where it comes from. So yeah, just let me know if you guys have any other comments.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I think the question that you said to me is everything. Do I really want to be successful?
Right.
If I don't, fine, then wither away and go away, just do what I'm doing. But the answer will always be, of course, I want to be successful. So then if that is my gold medal self, then I have to be willing and able to break down all those roadblocks that I put up for myself.
Right.
That's my self-talk.
And you know, Janet, you don't have to do it by yourself. We don't have to be alone. You know, and we didn't talk much about that this last couple of days, but you know, partnering with other humans, you know, who believe me, we have common struggles in common, I'm sure, if I spent a lot more time with you guys, you know, but already like even the time that we've had together, like I see so much of you guys in myself and the struggles that you go through. And I've been through a lot of those struggles, not all of them, but some of them are, you know, very real at the time. And, you know, and you think you're stuck in it and you're never going to get out of it. And, you know, you're right. You do have to ask yourself, do you want to be successful? And do you want to do what it takes? And if you don't, that's okay. You know, maybe it's just not the right time for you. Maybe you need more time. Maybe you need, you know, you need something else, right? But if it is, you better step into it, right? And that's why I created this 3-day challenge, so that you guys have some of the tools to take a look at that. In 3 days, you have had dynamic change, whether you realize it or not. Okay. Everything from having more confidence to recognizing what's going on to knowing what you want to be when you're up here. And this 3-day challenge is actually a very small part of my gold medal leadership program. And I'm just going to spend a bit of time telling you guys about that. If that's okay with you guys. All right. So gold medal leadership is the offering that I created because I felt it was going to contribute to people so much, and I'll tell you why. And this is what you're going to learn. It's a 12-week course. There are 6 modules and 6 Q&A. So 1 week is a learning module, 1 week is a Q&A, and it's 1 hour, okay, for each week. And you're going to be able to identify your leadership goals, the secret to unlocking your obstacles. We kind of talked about these, right? But what I get into extra in what we do is how to negotiate if you want to keep it or not, and how to get rid of it. And recognizing it, you can get rid of a lot of stuff once you recognize and understand it. But to really, you know, decide if you want to keep it, and getting rid of it is just really huge, right? So there's even more there for that, okay? And I'm going to give you, I'm going to get you to uncover actionable, easy to use tools that have a step-by-step process and a blueprint that you can use for the system you need to get where you want to go, okay? it's a great opportunity, and it will allow you to tap into the excitement of your business and where it's going to go. And also, I love the last module. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Is the top 3 ways, I actually give you a lot more than that, to turn it all to gold, to monetize your business in what you do. Okay. And I'm partnering with you through the whole 12 weeks. So you get more of me every single week. And we're going to brainstorm about ideas about your business, right? So why did I create Gold Medal Leadership? I found that, I took lots of information from people about this when I started creating this, because I wanted to make it something that people could take and actually have change, and what was most important to them that they needed in their leadership. So first of all, that leadership was overwhelming. I don't know how to be a leader, right? So they felt they had to have a certain quality or do a certain thing to be a leader, right? Whereas leadership is something you cultivate as you grow. It just happens, right? They didn't have the tools. They didn't have ways to get rid of their blocks. They didn't have ways to look at their mindset. They didn't have a toolbox to draw from. Okay. They weren't sure how to motivate those people in your team. I do a lot of training on how to keep your tribe engaged, and it's fascinating. And this would happen to me when I had my school. I at the time I was a 4th degree black belt, and I would have first, second, and 3rd degree black belts in my classes. And I had to motivate those black belts, because if they're not getting anything, they're going to leave, right? And so I had to create high level training for them that was still going to make them work on things that were advanced enough where it was still like, I'm not getting this. I'm still trying to figure it out. So they would still have a process to go through, to stay with me, so that they knew there was something else there for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And most importantly, people weren't making enough money. They were working so hard for very little money. And I see this all the time. You work so hard, 10, 12 hours a day, and it's just not enough money coming in. And the results that I've had because of this is it's helped so many people utilize untapped skills. You're going to tap into stuff you didn't even think you had. Okay. And recognize that something was getting in the way of your success. And we did talk about that yesterday. You guys got a lot of stuff about that. Okay. And a lot of leaders are not sure how to move forward in their business. So it's going to give you good clarity on that as well. So basically, it's allowed me to live the freedom lifestyle that I have, so I can help others do what I have done. And I want that all for you guys, right? And that's why I'm extremely passionate about helping others to step into their leadership. And I want them to become powerful and influential by communicating and delivering actionable steps. So, like the way I think about things is the people who come into my courses and work with me, I am looking for them to excel past me. I'm not looking for them to be as good as me or, come to my level. I'm thinking of them shooting past me. And if that's what they do, then I've done my job right. Right. So it's not about competition, because I don't work that way. And if that's the way people work, they don't need to come to my workshops. I am looking for you to accelerate past what I do and what leadership I have in your life. So I am looking for my students to be way better than me. And that's what I want to train you to do. And that's what I want to teach you to do. Okay. A little bit about me. You guys know this already. I'm a leadership accelerator. I am a 3-time world champion martial artist, self-defense and empowerment instructor, and a provincial champion from bodybuilding and powerlifting. And I'm a holistic practitioner for over 20 years. I understand the heal and the hurt of things and how they have to work together to balance your life. And we have a lot of that in everything that we do. Okay. And so I produced world champions in my schools, and they went out and they produced world champions. So I know what it means to create a leadership legacy. And that's what I'm going to help you do in your business and your leadership. Okay. Oh, these pictures crack me up every time I see them. So, okay. So Gold Medal Leadership is 6 learning modules and 6 Q&A sessions. Okay. And the first session is very similar to the one that we did on the 3-day Identify Your Gold Medal Self. Now we covered 3 out of 5 of the pillars. The other 2 are also so essential to identifying your gold medal self, because what that's going to do is even niche down what you are going to be up here even more. Okay, so there's lots of meat there that we didn't get to look at because of time restrictions. And the second module is where are you now? We dive deep into where you are now, and the first module we see up here. So we talked a little bit about that tonight, but it's going to get really clear on a lot of different levels where you are now and where you want to be. And so I think that's a good thing. And I think, I've had people say, well, it's depressing. I don't want to look at that. Like, and really judging themselves harshly. I'm like, are you kidding? You have a starting point. Some people don't even have that. Right. So that's really what it's about. Okay. Removing roadblocks. Okay. So we're going to recognize them. We're going to evaluate them, and we're going to remove them. So we're going to do the last two steps as well. Okay. I mean, there's no way I'm moving that big rock. I'm walking around that thing. So, and then the fourth module is a world championship mindset. So I talked to you about your mindset, and I give you tips on recognizing what your mindsets are, and how to shift them if they are not serving you enough. Because up here, this is where it's all happening. Okay. And Elaine can tell you that because she just talked about it today, right? You can have whatever success you desire if you shift your mindset. Okay. And we do a class on this. This is really, really key and really important. And the fifth module is your championship toolbox. I love this one because I give you so many tools, you're not going to know what to do with them. So a lot of the time people use a lot of the tools right away, and then some of them they don't use till later. But there's so many great ones in there that something is going to resonate with you, and you can mold them to what you do. And then the last one, which is one of my favorites, is turning it all to gold. How to monetize your business and what you do. And it doesn't matter what you do or what your business is. What I'm going to show you is if you start to do these things, you will shift, and your business will shift, and your income will shift. Okay. And next is a testimonial from someone who's taken one of my courses, a very good student, and she's shifted into crazy leadership since she took a course. Laura is by far one of the best mentors I've had the pleasure to work with. The Gold Medal Leadership Program has provided me so much clarity on how I'll move forward in my own business by providing tools that help to further define my mission statement, vision, key customers, and my own unique value proposition. Okay, and that's Terry Randall is the one who took my course. She's a great lady. Okay. So I want you to imagine if you took hold of your leadership. I really like this picture because I just like the idea of the key saying success. And what if you were able to become the Pied Piper of leadership and the ultimate influencer? So I always think of the guy with like the pipe and like a million mice behind him, right? Like those are your peeps, right? Like that are following you. What if that happened? Well, you would have more money. You would help more people succeed. You would be the go-to person in your business and your leadership, okay? And you would reach millions because you're not tiny anymore. You're creating a global impact for what you do. And when I say global impact, that doesn't mean that you have to be on a global stage. It just means that you're reaching so many people that what you're doing is rippling out into the world, right? Your mission and your vision, right? That ties into all of that, okay? So what I've just shown you is the step-by-step system to achieve powerful leadership success. Okay, and it's a system I've personally used time and again to become a 3-time world champion martial artist and a leadership accelerator. And I want to do the same for you guys. I want to see you step into it. Okay. And I also added a bunch of bonuses here, which is great. And I'm going to get to the pricing and like what it costs and all that very shortly. All the prices for the workshop are in US dollars because I teach this on a global level, and US currency is the easiest one for me to manage. So the bonus, the first one you get is worth almost $200, my 10 best communication techniques. I am a certified and licensed trainer with a company called Bank, which is a personality coding methodology. And I can teach you through Bank as my tool to increase your sales up to 300%. Okay, by speaking to the values that are important to people. So I use this all the time. I've been speaking to you guys in all 4 personality codes for the last 3 days. Okay, so I give you my 10 best communication techniques that you can use right away. A free personality assessment about yourself, value is $97. Oh, I love this one. My 5 most popular crazy tools to explode your life. Okay, that's 197. So I teach this course called Crazy Tools to Explode Your Life. And it's all these crazy things like affirmations and talking to your clothes and things that actually make a difference in your life. It's a little bit woo-woo, but I think it's very fun to do. And you know what? You got nothing to lose, so why not try it, right? It might work. Then my 3 top tips to a world champion mindset, what I did to win 3 times. And if you apply this into your leadership in your life, I'm telling you, you're going to have success. You can't not, right? Okay, so all of that brings it to a value of 26.85. Okay, so you get it all. But I have a special right now for 9.97. So that's almost less than a third of the price. Okay, but I decided because you guys are from Mob and I want to make it very special for you guys, that I wanted to add more into it. Okay, so you get lifetime access to the training and materials. And Elaine, we kind of talked about this, right? So this is a $2,000 value. So when you take the course, you get everything goes to a membership site that you have access to for the rest of your life. So if you need to go rewatch things, and I've had it happen a lot of the time, it also includes all of the handouts. You get a really fulsome handout. We did for this, but it wasn't as big or as involved. Fulsome handout with each of the modules, as well as all of the recordings, all of my notes that I make. So you have that as well. And you have access to that for the rest of your life. You have 3 months of unlimited email support with me. I am at your beck and call for 3 months, the 12 weeks of the program, and that's a $2,000 value. And then you are also in a private community with me in Facebook. And the private community is for people who only take my courses, no one else. There's a lot of networking that gets done in there, a lot of connecting, a lot of questions, a lot of people bouncing ideas off each other. And that's pretty priceless. And that's really become a place where people are connecting and asking questions about their leadership in their business. So it's been really cool. All right, so you get all of this today, a total value of $776 for $497.
$497 US.
$497 US.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So 12 weeks, is that a one-on-one?
No.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
So is that one-on-one? Like when is that, like what you said, an hour per
Right.
12 sessions? So
Right.
is that in the day, the evening, or is that one-on-one?
So each group has 10 people in it. Right? So I run them in groups of 10 people. I don't put more than 10 people in a group. You need more than one-on-one because you need, like we had today, the interaction and the bouncing off of ideas and the collaboration. It just makes for a better experience for everyone, in my experience. I've done it both ways. And I found that the participants had just way more fulsome experience this way, and they got a lot more out of it. But I don't like having classes of 15 and 20 people. I just feel sometimes people get lost in the shuffle, right? So I limit it to 10 people. So I have a class that's starting next week, and it's at 10 a.m. And it goes for 12 weeks. And then I have one that's starting first week February that is in the evening like this from 6 to 7, because not everybody can go to one or the other. When that fills up with 10 people, I will create a different day and a different time, because I'm not going to force people to keep going into a workshop that's full. It's not fair to the people, right? Does that make sense? Janet?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah.
And what night of the week will it be in February?
I think it's going to be a Tuesday, Lucy, from 6 to 7. But that one's filling up. So what I do usually is I will collaborate with the people who register, and we make sure that it's a night that you guys can do it. I send out what's called a doodle, and it gives you some options. And then you guys can pick the night. So don't really focus on that right now. Like we're going to make it happen for you, whatever's convenient. It's just harder when it's later than 7 and on, because I find people are tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or they're eating dinner, or they just zoning out for the day, because we all work such long days now, right? So I found 6 to 7, like this time is really
Perfect.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? So I just wanted to pump up the offer a bit because I love you guys. So the first 5 people who decide they want to go through with this, you're going to get an extra bonus. An extra bonus means a 30-minute one-on-one call with me. So that's one-on-one to nail your value proposition, what you offer. Now, you may already have that. But what I do is I use a template that I have to kind of niche down your market, and who you help, what you do, what change you affect, and what the benefits of that are. And we bring that into a statement that you can use as your 30-second. And it's really a powerful thing, right? And not only that, it helps you to get really clear on what you offer. Okay. And that, as you know, is so important when you're looking up here. Okay. So who's with me? Okay. So let's just do a summary. Everyone gets all that was listed. The first 5 of you get the 31-minute nail your value proposition included. You can go to goldmedalleadership.com. You can register. You would just pay there, and then I'm going to sort you out about which group you want to be in for the training. So don't worry about that. And this is really your chance to step into your greatness. And, I'm happy to take any questions you have. But I'm telling you, if you follow this blueprint, you will have success. It's just going to happen. Christine, are you on? I know she was with her son, so yeah.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to leave the other room where my son is. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I missed some of the conversation, but I know that you're at the stage where Laura is sharing about our 12-week program. And what I wanted to say was, this is not a high pressure sales tactic thing from either Laura or I. If you got value out of these 3 days and you felt moved or shifted, great. And if you're at a happy place with what you have, take that information, take that knowledge and move forward. If you felt like there was great momentum here and you felt energized, and this is something that you think you need to propel you to the next level and it's in your budget, I highly encourage you to do this. I think Janet asked the question, so like, how much is that? So it is 12 weeks of basically a mastermind for you, and the unlimited email support from Laura that is going to help you stay focused, because you know what it's like. We've been on a webinar, we've taken a course, we're so super jazzed, and then life, homework and the dog and the kids or maybe grandchildren, and then we forget and we get off track. So for me personally, I took this workshop just like you gals are doing it. I took it in December, and I had so many aha moments like you. I had so many, wow, I need to stay on this train. I need to keep this energy going. So I said to Laura, this was so great. I'd love for you to do this 3-day leadership program for the mob, because I know if even just doing this, how awesome it is. And then if anyone wanted to jump on board and do the 12 weeks, what an amazing time to start that at the beginning of a new year. Thanks. So again, no pressure. Think about it. Laura is available to ask and answer questions after today, but I'm super jazzed about starting next week, and I'm really I really know it's going to be what I need to get me up to where I want to be. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
it. I don't know if anybody has any further questions, or Laura, if you wanted to add anything else in.
Yeah, just
I have a question, if that's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, sure, bring it. Yeah, that's fine.
So this whole package here, is that something that you had, I believe you had mentioned that videos or something are repeats because you had other people that had brain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone signed up for something like that that have succeeded in their business?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know Carolyn Palmer, for instance. She has a brain injury and she looks at her notes all the time. The membership site has really become invaluable for people to go back and look at things again, because sometimes it's like watching a movie, right? Like the first time you get the story and what's going on, the second you start to notice a few more things, right? The third time you're noticing the details. And then I find at least the fifth time, not that I watch everything 5 times, I'm like, oh, now I understand why that person did that, right? So for me, I'm always having ahas. It just depends on what you need, Elaine. That's all.
Yeah, if I could just say, like, Elaine, I don't have a brain injury, but this is my third time now going through Laura's this program, this 3-day leadership challenge, twice this week, right? And I feel like each time, Laura, you delivered it the same but different. But I really think it's just how I took it in and how much more prepared and ready I was to get that information.
Yeah.
I think everyone should repeat stuff.
I know, right? Yeah. Any other questions, you guys? Well, I just wanted to tell you, like, what a pleasure it's been the last 3 days hanging out with you and showing you about yourselves and the greatness that you are and how you tapped into it. And like, kudos to you for like stepping forward into it. And like if our journey together is done, I'm okay with that. But if you really want to step into your power, this is going to help you do it. And it's going to get you focused and it's going to get you moving. And you're going to partner with me for the 12 weeks. And I work with you guys. We start to create things. You ask questions, what else is possible in my business, and I give you as much as I can. Yeah.
Laura,
Yeah.
how long do we have to make up our minds?
Well, we're starting, I would, I would, and I know this isn't what you want to hear. I would make your decision in the next couple days because those workshops are filling up and I'm going to have to add on another day. So we want to make sure that works for you too. So, do you have any doubts about it? You just need to think about it. Like, let me know what you're thinking here.
I think it sounds really good. I definitely like the momentum. I really, really like that 30-minute one-on-one call to nail your value proposition. Like I just want to take that and go. But I think I love your head in gold medal leadership. Like love. You don't know how much I love it. It just reeks of success, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna do it, and everything positive that comes with it. So that's where my headspace is at.
So what are you waiting for?
I definitely can't do it in the day because I will have to be in an evening. I can't do it in the day because
Yeah,
I'm already.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We've already set an evening one up. What you want to do is don't worry about the actual dates because I'm going to make sure that you work. I can guarantee you, I'm going to make sure they work for you. So don't worry about that. If that's your concern, don't worry about it. I will take care of you.
Is there anybody else in this group who's thinking of doing it?
Come on out, peeps.
Yes, I'm thinking about it. Really heavy. And I've been in self-development for 7 years.
I think self-develop is a long journey, lifelong journey. Like it's not one time, it's lifelong or you stop living.
The funny thing that you should say that is it is definitely a lifelong journey. And as we evolve as people, as humans, as we evolve as business owners, as we evolve as women, as our lives change, these things shift our priorities for our business as well. And I don't know, I just feel like everybody needs a mentor, a coach, a mastermind, a group to bounce ideas off of. We cannot, and I can say this wholeheartedly because of what I've experienced over the last 21 years of being self-employed. You can go hard on your own, but you can't go far. And all this discussion we've had about collaboration and teaming up with people and partnering with other businesses, you must, if you take anything from this today, I may offer a suggestion, it is do that. Find a group, find someone who has the same vision and mission and thirst that you have, and like go.
Yeah.
You can go together a lot further than you can alone.
Yeah, you know, and in the course too, Christine, we talk about accountability partners and what you're looking for in that and why you have it, right? Like it's so important. I have two. And I have mentors, like, you know, like gosh, it never stops no matter where you are, right? Like we're always learning and I just feel like if we're not learning, what are we really living? Like, you know, what does that mean for us? You know, as I have these deep moments about those kind of thoughts. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so if you guys have any other comments or questions, let me know. That's all we had for today.
Elaine, just
Yes.
a question for Elaine, because I did post, Catherine asked me to share the Instagram handles that you guys put into the chat box. I
Thank
can
Okay.
for sure do that in our final email. I just want to make sure everybody dropped their URL there. And then Elaine, is your Instagram Elaine Best, or is it Elaine Norwax? Do you remember?
Well, I had two there because just one of those things, just having
Yeah, no problem.
two.
I'm just not seeing. Okay, you know, I'll talk to you after.
I think it's Elaine under. I think it's Norwex one.
Okay, I'm not finding it, but I'll PM you afterwards. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no
Perfect.
problem.
So just one other thing, I am thinking of this, but I struggle with doing so many different things in my, and I hate to say this all the time, but my brain does a ping pong thing, and I cannot focus on so many things. So I mean, I would love to take it, but that's one of the reasons that's holding me back.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the thing, Elaine. You guys are going to work at your own pace, okay? And that's why I inserted the Q&As in between, right? Because that's your chance to have more time understanding thing and going through things that you're struggling with and all that kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so think about that. That's why I was finding when I did 6 weeks in a row, it was overwhelming for people and they need time to process things and work through stuff and you know, really feel like they're getting the meat of it and ask questions, right? And get ideas, right? You know, so again, you're working at your own pace. And, you know, I had this lady in my last course, she's like, well, I didn't do the homework. I'm like, okay. And then she come back the next week and she's like, well, I did the homework. I'm like, okay. Right. You know, I'll work with you, whatever you decide you want to do, you know, like it's as much as you want out of it, you're going to get out of it. And I will push you, you know, not because I want you to, to do it, but I will say, what do you want? Right. And so let's work within what you want. Right. So you will be, you know, being accountable for showing up in 12 weeks in a row is a huge deal. Right. Like, give yourself credit for that, right? Like it's, you know, 3 months of your life where you're dedicating an hour of your time, right? And you know, you got to think about the time and, you know, is it worth it? Am I going to get out of it? But what you really have to understand, especially in your situation, is you're not going to be pushed to do stuff that's too much for you, or you're getting too much information, you're feeling overwhelmed, because you're going to be able to go into that membership site and look at that again and again and again. You have your worksheet to work everything out in a blueprint way. So you're going to break it down so that you have a system. And it's going to be an exciting opportunity for you, and you're going to be able to shift for whatever that means to you. And that's really all I can say about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if you guys decide you want to sign up, you can go to goldmedalleadership.com, sign up. Okay. And don't, like I said, don't worry about the night that you're going to sign up for, because I'm going to actually, once you do, I contact you and then I get in touch with you, send you your bonuses, and we work out when you want to take the course. So we'll make that happen for you. If you feel you want to have a conversation with me, further conversation with me, I am available to you. You want to talk it out, you're not sure, I have some questions, and you didn't want to bring them up on the call. Christina is going to send out all my contact information. So you can call me, you can email me, and I'm happy to spend time with you and chat with you about things. Yeah. Yeah, you're very welcome, Lindsay. You were amazing.
Yeah, Laura, I'll make sure to send out the link to your calendar too, in case anyone wants to just book some time to do that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Laura, I just want to say, I think you're amazing. And I got an awful lot out of these 3 days. So
Perfect.
thank you for, sharing your gift. Honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I want the best and most for all of you and whatever that means to you. And you can have it. You can do it. And I never doubted it for a minute. Okay. And don't ever doubt that for yourself. Yeah. I love you guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you, everybody. So nice
Yeah,
to
it's
do
Thank
great
these
for
you.
me.
3 nights with
Everyone.
you.
I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
sending everybody.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Nice to meet you.
You're very welcome.
Nice to
And
meet
yeah,
everyone.
yeah, you guys were amazing. And I hope you guys all stay in contact with each other and collaborate.
I think we
Okay.
will.
Awesome. Love that.
For sure.
Thanks
So,
again.
thanks so
Bye.
much
Thanks, everyone.
again.
Bye,
Thanks,
Have a good
ladies.
night.
Have a
Christine.
great night. We'll see you
Bye.
in the mob.
Yep.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.
All right. So